Hello everyone, welcome to my stream. I am Ciantier and everything seems to be functioning technologically at the moment, so that's good. It's always good. Let's go capture Spiteful Spirit. Let's check. Boy, I got a lot of blood magic. Oh yeah, I threw some random points in there because I got Well of Blood last time. But we are woefully low on Spiteful Spirits. So let's go get that. I think I want to actually use Lightning Surge. I'm feeling Lightning Surge. I don't know. Just seems like an interesting idea. I really wish there was a way to friggin' tell what things had Overcast. I mean, this is one of those things where, those who may be unfamiliar, late into the game's life cycle in 2012, I want to say, there was a big update to the Elementalists that tweaked and changed a lot of things, and that's where we got the Overcast as upside mechanic, or that's not true. Overcast as things caring about you being Overcast mechanic. And it being changed from Overcast to Exhaustions, like Whirlwind here cares. If you're Overcast, it strikes nearby instead of adjacent. And so it's now a useful status to be able to know what skills inflict it, because, like, for example, Lightning Strike is twice as powerful if you are Overcast. But then it can be difficult to know what of your skills actually inflict the status, which therefore can be challenging. Let's leave with this guild hall. Spiteful... not here. Camp Rancor. We want to go south from Camp Rancor. Talus Shoot, or I could use the top secret tech of seeing this S through the, or knowing that I need the N down, I guess, is a bit easier. It's hard to see the S through the party window. Sure, I'll keep wearing my survivor armor. It doesn't really matter much. So we're looking for a particular boss spawn. There are several bosses along here that are useful to capture from. I believe Frostbite is not the one I want. But I'm going to wander around the area a little bit. I think this is the... monk boss that has Signet of Judgment, if I'm not mistaken. Come on, Price. You can make it. I know you were preoccupied with placing brambles, but you can make it. But I wanted to get you. Does this have... No. Oh, I must have just been looking at when I used that. Everything's going fine in the stream stats. That's good. All right. I've been thinking some about doing, and this is probably the wrong part of the stream to mention this, but maybe I'll bring it up later, of just doing a stream sometime where I just sit down and talk about some of the design stuff and just think about the design and Nick Spine Chill down there is who we want. Anyway, and like I said, just thinking about some of the design stuff, thinking through it, analyzing it, that sort of thing. It sounds like something that'd be fun to do. You can let me know what you think. But I like the idea. But it'd be basically like a stream of sitting in a town talking about skills and stuff, or pulling up the map or whatever as becomes relevant. I've thought about writing an article, but then I don't put the time into it, so. Avocara are weak to lightning, which I find really interesting. Or at least some of them are, anyway. Wanderlust doing work over there. Knocking that guy down repeatedly. That guy, I mean that Tengu over there. that was in front of me. Okay, let's go ahead and wander our way on over to Spiteful Spirit Boss hanging out down there. So I can capture it. But basically, I don't know if that's something that people would be interested in or not. But I might try it anyway. Just to see. Whoop. I don't need the wiki links. Thanks. Let's see if people are interested in it. Maybe I'll bring it up later. That's an idea. When more people are around. Usually the start of my stream is a little slow, which is fine. Mm-hmm. Enjoy your electrocution. Boss. Enemy. There we go. Yeah, that's what we came here for. Back to Camp Rancor. What should I go after next? I just knew off the top of my head that Spiteful Spirit's here, so I need to actually like look at things for next steps. Ooh. Maybe I want to go get myself some Lingering Curse. I'm kind of just getting a bunch of like prophecies stuff. Prophecies / core stuff that's not... Oh. Lingering Curse and Plague Signet are both core, and therefore that tells me that chances are good they're easier to get elsewhere. Wither is prophecies. Where's Lingering Curse gotten? Grunth's Curse off Perdition Rock, or some reliable areas and factions in Nightfall. I think I'm more inclined to get it from Cross, Stone Reap, and Arborstone Explorable than I am trying to get it here. Anybody who is unfamiliar with Elite Capping and Prophecies, maybe you're viewing the game for the first time. If you are viewing the game for the first time, Elite Capping is the process, what you just saw. It's the process of using Signets of Capture, this skill, in order to acquire an elite skill from a dead boss, because that's the only way you can get elite skills if you're not using a tome to get an elite skill already unlocked on your account. You unlock skills by acquiring them, or through Balthazar faction, which is a little bit more challenging to get these days, or the skill unlock packs. There's lots of ways of getting skills unlocked on your account, apparently, but capturing elite skills is the general common way to get stuff on a character. And different skills are in different areas, so you go hunt down bosses. And Plaguebinder in Ferndale. Or I'm having to hunt down one of these... Grawl. Weoli the Infectious and Crystal Overlook. And there's a boss in Isle North. I think it'll be... So Prophecy's bosses wander around a heck of a lot, which makes them real annoying. This is also on Perdition Rock. Ignis Ophidia? I forgot about those. Sorry, I was just suddenly reminded of some really obnoxious bosses. Okay, so this is one of the Phantom. Seeing that there's like 3 bosses that I theoretically would want to capture skills from on Perdition Rock. Let's just go to Perdition Rock. So, in most of the campaigns that have come since, there's been a concerted effort made to make the process... Oh, I'm going to lose Necrosis. Of capturing boss elites as straightforward. I don't quite know the right term here. But to minimize the... Excuse me, I think I'm coming down with something. To minimize the obnoxious factor of collecting elites. However, in Prophecies, they did not. They made it as obnoxious as possible, it seems. So here we are. You know what? I'll just bring Shock Arrow. Why not? I don't need these points in Blood Magic. So, Wither. What was the other... Yeah, Grunth's Cursed. Is there... Hang on. Prophecies. I'm going to check Perdition Rock. Because I want... There's so many elites here. Okay, yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Lingering Curse, Tainted Flesh, and Wither can all appear on Perdition Rock. Where's the Tainted Flesh boss? Okay, it's kind of more in those locations. Yeah, and like there's no guarantee that these bosses will spawn, and it's just it's a whole mess. I do want to change my build around some for this because the knockdown theme that I have going right now is not going to be great here. So let's just take these dudes and do. I mean, you're fine, whatever, and do something different. Yeah, this is not what I need. I do kind of like the idea of. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We don't need wilderness survival. We're just gonna go like kind of like this, but we're gonna drop these, and we're going to introduce soul twisting, but we're gonna introduce soul twisting in order to get out dissonance. Pain is still really good from a damage standpoint, though. Actually, let's just bring shelter, because that seems like a good idea. Spirit's Gift is kind of nice, and what do I want this last skill to be? Binding Chains. Actually, Sundering Weapon, Ghostly Weapon, Sundering Weapon's not a bad idea either. Let's go with Binding Chains. Kamu is doing this thing. I don't want him to do this thing. I want him to... What do I want him to do? I want him to go slash assassin. Bump up the mysticism a little. Get some deadly arts. Yeah, I mean those are fine. I have no objection to those. Actually, yeah, he doesn't really need these. Not doing anything with enchantments right now means he doesn't need enchantments. I want Shadowfang, Disrupting Dagger. What else? I kind of want... All of your spells disabled for 15 seconds. For 2 seconds, target touched foe cannot cast spells. This is one of those skills that reads to me like... We made this elite skill, and then we realized we couldn't actually give it any stats that didn't look awful, so it's now just a really bad interrupt. That's how this reads to me. I think I'm going to want Signet of Malice, because there's going to be a lot of condition spam here. Having ways of dealing with it's going to be a good idea. Oh man, I need an elite, do I? Do I? Do I? It's an important question. Do I actually need an elite? Are there any elites that I actually want? Wounding Strike's good damage. I just don't have any Dervish enchantments that I'm going to lose. So, it becomes less interesting in that case. Like, I want the rest of these skills, so it's like, do I just have... This is an attack skill that deals plus 17 damage and inflicts bleeding for 17 seconds? This is one of my problems with friggin' Dervish, is too many... Like, I am totally for the skills that are like, hey, do the whole teardown thing. Cool. I like that. Could we please have at least a little bit of a mix? Do both Wounding Strike and Reaper Sweep need to be remove Dervish enchantment teardown skills? No, they don't. That's the answer to that question. And the fact that they both are is supremely obnoxious. I don't have a skill that I really want to remove to fuel this guy. In that case, Victorious Sweep just seems better, so I'm going to. And never mind an elite skill, because like I don't have an elite. None of these elites are skills that I want to use on this character right now. So I'm just not going to use one. There's no rule saying you have to bring elite skills. There's an argument, but this has a 10-second recharge and is at range. I'm using this as an interrupt. Right? This is touch range. And has a 30-second recharge. It's just an over-glorified interrupt. It costs more energy. It has a longer cast time. I don't understand Shroud of Silence. Like, as a skill, like, why does this skill exist the way that it does? It just feels like it's to interrupt. It feels like it's balanced around PvP. And like, oh, Blackout was Blackout as an elite that doesn't disable your entire skill bar, just your spells was whatever. That's enough random complaining about ephemera for me. I actually like Test of Faith here. Golden Lotus Strike, Golden Phoenix Strike, Fox Fangs, because I don't think there's stances I'm really worried about here. I'm going to give him Onslaught, because I feels like it. And Mystic Twister. There, that's a bar for him. This helps a lot with the energy requirements of this particular randomness. I mean, yeah, hammer stuff is cool. Let's drop Goran, though, because this is not an area where I want hammer stuff. This is an area where I want... Is Margaret still on? Yeah, choking gas. That's exactly the sort of thing that I want. Yeah, okay, body shot's good here. Let's give her pin down. Okay. What did I get ruin-wise? Heralds? I don't think Heralds is worth anything. I'm not going to worry about it. Maybe I should drop some of these things off. Okay, so we're looking for like 3 different bosses, which is crazy. We'll be back to Perdition Rock in the future. I'm positive of it. Because that's just the sort of place it is. It's a place you visit too much. Sure, 11 gold. Why not? Hey, it's Carlotta, I think. Yeah. Shadow's level 2 Spider. She's only level 15. Daka at least is level 20. These guys are all level 20 as well. Do you guys say anything? Do you have any dialogue here? Don't tell anyone you've seen me. I've got a few unpaid debts, if you know what I mean. I'm a survivor, that's for sure. Word of advice. When I get started, you best stay out of my way. For when I'm in the midst of combat, I often cleave so mightily that I'll slice through friend only to encounter foe. Or is it the other way around? I forget. So he does have dialogue here. I think that that's just generic Little Tom dialogue, though. So, your mileage may vary. Okay. How do I want to proceed? Let's start by taking out some Hydra. Okay, let's not stand in the meteor shower like idiots. You do know that you have choking gas, right, Margaret? My monk backline is actually kind of weak, and I should probably do something about that. Whatever, it doesn't matter that much. What's still alive? Oh. A flesh golem. I kind of like this area, and I don't spend much time in it. I don't know. I don't know why I kind of like it. It has a certain set of memories. Also, it's very desaturated, I'm noticing, which is kind of a neat aesthetic difference from a lot of other locales in the game. How do I want to proceed? I guess I'll just kind of go this way and see where I end up. Thunderclap is a weird sort of cry of frustration. Well, I don't need Lys's Cursed. I'm pretty sure I already have that one. if I'm not mistaken, it's Echo. I might be mistaken. I might have to go after Lyssa's Elite. Or Lyssa's Cursed. I like the idea that there's beings here cursed by the various deities. It's an interesting concept of like, what is this zone really about, you know? Somebody please tell me why that almost finished a meteor shower. No, at least I'm doing reasonably good damage with all my lightning spells here. I'm enjoying that. So the cursed type enemies linger around this outer perimeter. I might look up a little bit more about the possible spawn locations for the bosses I'm going after in a bit, but it is not currently a priority. Lingering curse would be nice to stumble across. I will need tainted flesh, and wither is the skill that I'm ostensibly actually going for. Good. Margaret should be keeping up choking gas most of the time. I say should. I don't know if she is, but she should. That's her job. Okay, well, we're going through the Malus Phasmatis, which I don't know what it does. Well, apparently it drains enchantments, so there's that. And power leaks you. Look, I only want so much power leak, okay? I only have so much power to leak. Get out of here, random phantom. Did not get cracked armor on it. What is this boss's elite? Signet of Midnight. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll have to cap that off of it at some point. But I'm here for Necromancer elites, so not immediately relevant. Bunch of Igneous Titans? Alrighty then. Good old Igneous Humps. One of the higher ranking trophies. Hope everything's going well for you all today. Hope you're having a good day. Me, I think once again about my favorite, I don't know, supervillain power of making alarm clocks not work. I did not enjoy when I had to wake up this morning, but that's okay. That is okay. Because you know what? Life moves on. And it's my own dang fault for having terrible estimation skills about how long things take when I'm going to bed. Anybody else have that problem? It's like, you know you need to be going to bed, but then the process of getting to bed takes like half an hour, and you're like, but this isn't instant? I can't just say, okay, I'm done with my activities and now I go to sleep? And it's like, nope, that's not how time works. And I'm like, but why not? Why not indeed? Can I stop having Soul Leech on me, please? That would be great. Thank you. Looks like we've got Duena's and Balthazar's Cursed. I'm not sure what Duena's Cursed has. I think it's Martyr. Balthazar's Cursed is Charge, if I'm not mistaken. Neither of them are particularly relevant at the moment, since I'm neither of those professions. Yeah, those Rider type bosses here are the ones that have Soul Leech, and I already capped that elsewhere because getting the correct spawn sounded annoying, and having a guaranteed spawn sounded great. So I went for the guaranteed spawn. Well, I found Grenth's Cursed. There's Maxine Coldstone, which has Quick Shot. I'm not sure what her story is. Feels like there is a story there. Some sort of bandit or something. Hello, Phantom. What do you think of operas? Always an important thing to ask phantoms. Theoretically, anyway. Well, I mean, I wasn't coming here to get Lingering Curse, but I came here prepared to get Lingering Curse. And sometimes being prepared is all that you need. Boy, howdy, am I not going to use it right now, though. My 0 curses makes Lingering Curse a very bad skill. Frankly, if I were to use it on a secondary Necromancer, I'd kind of want to make sure I was bringing along Awaken the Blood so I could get it up high enough. My curse is up high enough to get the -3 degen off of it. I'm just not really into that skill at no, or not 13 curses, which is the break point for -3 degen. That's a pretty hardy Spirit of Quickening Zephyr. I don't want the energy usage. Hey, random drakes. How you doing? Okay, slowly taking these guys down. What am I even looking for right now? Yeah, that's right. I brought Soul Twister with Dissonance. That was a good idea. Shelter was to save people from meteor showers, for anybody who was wondering why I decided for that one, but I didn't feel like I needed Union. Pravus Obsidia. I think that's the Amity boss. I'll have to capture that at some point, too. The zone has a lot of elite skills in it. I'm going to have to capture Quickshot. I'm not necessarily going to do it off of Maxine. Wait. Okay, that's the Bull's Charge. Bull's Charge boss. Volcanic Rocks. Just straight up Volcanic Rocks. All right. Cry of Frustration. Accurate name. Yeah, I think this boss is Amity. Amity is one of those skills that I don't understand why it exists. It's impossible to make it fun. And, like, it's it's one of those skills that you either kind of put at a spot where it's effectively worthless, or it's overpowered and nobody likes it. Because what it does, for those who may be unfamiliar, these volcanic rocks are part of the Moa, Baby Moa quest. The Black Moa check, that's it. I forget how to start that process. But anyway, I digress. Now I've completely lost my train of thought. Oh well. Cool, I picked some up. I now have some volcanic rock. That's nice. I should look up how to start that, because that could be a fun side thing. To do... I don't know how much the Black Moa chick sells for. I already have one on my account, so I don't really feel a need to actually have another one. But it would be fun to do the quest to get it. You can get it like once per character. I want to be able to kind of look around a little bit better, and the camera's limiting me. Yeah, Shintakaru Man Shredder. Very strange name for the sort of boss that he is. But I need to remember I need to chain lightning just that way I can get exhaustion or overcast or whatever the heck we want to call it these days going. So my lightning strike works properly. I feel like I'm just following Maxine Coldstone around. Oh, great. I reapplied to my enchantment just in time to... be chillblazed. Maybe I'll get to keep it this time. Ah, Fever Touch over there. That's the boss that I need. What was the other one? I feel like there's 3 bosses out here. No, I know that there's 3. The third was a phantom, wasn't it? Yeah, this guy's Tainted Flesh, which is disease spreading. Actually, this Drake should go down. Okay, now I can get myself some Tainted Flesh. Wow, you barely need any investment in this. Excuse me. Using it makes you immune to disease, which drops it off of... Where even am I? Oh my goodness, I've come way around. Okay, so this is a question. I just got this, which is not what I was coming here for, but you know. I was coming here for Wither from Ignis Ephigia. Okay. And have I hit up all those locations? Yes. So it looks, from my rudimentary understanding of maps, oh, is this the... This is kind of strange. Because I feel like I remember the Signet of Midnight boss. No, it is the same set. Okay. So the boss that I came here for did not spawn. Two of the bosses I did not come here for did spawn. I will take that, but that doesn't mean I have to now go and locate those bosses. So here we are. I do want Necrosis. I don't know that I care about intensity, honestly. I can bring this. It's not terrible, but not really that helpful either. You know what? I don't really use this skill. Let's just bring Energy Blast for no reason. Other than it's vaguely cool. Yeah. I do kind of want to look up that quest. What was I seeing that was... Oh, the Celestial. The miniature Celestial Dragon. There's something that I saw in my inventory that was gold, and I'm like, what was that? And it was the dragon. Ooh, 710 hide out of that. Cool. Truncheon is un-ID'd. I would have liked highly salvageable on it. Truncheons usually actually have iron in them. So I went there for Wither. I got two elites that I wasn't looking for at that moment. I'll accept them. This welcome to Perdition Rock, I guess, is what the game is saying to me. Dwayne is cursed, Balthazar is cursed. There we go. So I just need to kind of circle the area again, see if the boss I want spawned this time. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. We'll find out together. I do like the idea of skill capping from bosses, but I also... So it's one of those things, right, where the idea of it is a really cool idea. So let's talk about this some, because I'm in the midst of interacting with this mechanic most aggressively, shall we say. So can somebody please interrupt these meteor showers that are happening? Okay, whatever. Let's not stand in places where meteor showers are happening. So, mechanically, the whole sorry, my brain is malfunctioning due to heavy combat. It completely distracted me. So the prophecy's idea of capturing elites off of bosses is that, for the most part, like, there's some regional things and trends and stuff. But for the most part, boss locations are somewhat unpredictable. So it's kind of like... Because, again, Magic the Gathering was an inspiration to this game. Trading card games are an inspiration to this game. You can see it with the skill system, with sort of the build system to an extent, and with the way that you kind of acquire new skills, kind of like you acquire new cards in a card game. Now, the downside to this process, compared to something like Magic, is that you kind of... I mean, so it's all... Sorry, my thoughts are jumbled, and being in combat makes it hard to be kind of clear with them. So anyway, where was I? Yeah, so the idea here then is that elites kind of function like rares in a pack. They give you something exciting and interesting to work with, and so the process of acquiring them becomes an important part of the game in the way that it kind of... They make it a lot more of a thing to go get them, to make them more special and not make them just like other regular skills. And all sorts of stuff. So they've done a lot to make elites have a really important and significant presence. And I really like that. Now, good. Is Malus Ves Mantis? No, I want... No, that's the signet. This would be a fantastic spawn if I was trying to capture Mesmer elites, but I'm not. Where am I even going with any of this? Okay, so the basic thing here is to, I assume, to capture some of the feel of a booster pack having random stuff in it. They made boss spawn locations overall largely inconsistent in Prophecies. It's not entirely accurate. There are some areas that are very consistent. But by and large, boss spawns are pretty inconsistent. Which captures some of that feel of opening booster pack. Like, you go out in a zone, and maybe you want to bring a Signet of Capture with you, because you never know what sort of boss you encounter. Now, there's a couple of issues with this. Issue number 1 is just bringing a Signet of Capture with you on the off chance that you'll run across a boss that'll have some sort of skill that you want. It kind of compromises your skill bar, because you're spending a skill slot on a Signet of Capture, which may or may not pan out to be anything. We got a meteor shower going off over here. Regular Mago Hydra. So that's a bit of an issue. Another follow-up issue is that's kind of connected to this. Is, I mean, there's a couple of different things. Like, repeat elites, so like all of the Stone Summit warriors basically having the same elite can kind of be a little bit of a spoiler effect in that it's like, oh, well, all these guys have the same elite, so why bother bringing Signet of Capture here? I'm not going to get anything interesting. So that can be a factor in how some stuff can play out and feel and all that. But also, aside from the fact that you have to compromise your skill bar without knowing whether or not you're going to even be able to find an elite you'd be interested in, you also kind of run into the additional issue of the inability to capture elites that are not for one of your 2 current professions. And what that means is you might run across a really cool elite to get randomly and be like, oh, that boss had a really cool elite, I want to capture it. And you might even have a Signet of Capture with you, but unless you're the profession, you can't get it. And that inherently affects some of the experience as well. Grunt's Cursed, I already got from Grunt's Cursed. That's where I got Lingering Curse. There's like a spawn like here or something. I have it up on the wiki to double check. And sorry that my thoughts are kind of incoherent, but battle makes it really distracted. So anyway, I like the idea behind what they're doing with the randomized locations and all that stuff. The uncertainty of whether or not bosses will even spawn. All that's a really cool idea. But it's also very similar to like ideas that Magic had of oh, well, what if we don't tell you what's... Like, things have different rarity, but what if we don't tell you? What if we think keeping that hidden is more interesting? You kind of have to ask the question, is it, though? And so there's a couple of ways that you can kind of address some of the issue. And probably the easiest and most straightforward way, and what Arena did, is to just say, never mind the whole randomized spawn things and being uncertain whether or not the boss you want is going to be there and all that stuff, not really what's important, right? And I think that's a totally reasonable way of going about it. But it does remove some of the coolness of like, oh, I don't know what's going to really spawn, though. And am I going to be able to get something really cool? Like, you don't have that. I mean, you do kind of on the first outing when you don't know where things are. I have gotten absolutely wrecked by Quickening Zephyr and power leaks. But anyway, the other way of handling it is to modify how something like Signets of Capture actually work. To make it so that way you always have like a 9th skill slot for Signet of Capture that has like open charges, and whenever you capture something, it replaces itself with either an empty skill slot if you do not have enough spots. Yeah, Amity doesn't do anything against me because I'm a caster. Amity just prevents you from attacking, or prevents everyone around you from being able to attack. It's a more accurate way to describe what it does. So it's very, like, if it works, it's super annoying, and if it doesn't, yeah, it ends if you get it dealt damage or attack or whatever. It's not very good. Okay, so the last possible location is like over there, I think. So you can have something like that, and it would need to be able to capture off of any boss, right? And that, I think, is a really interesting idea and a really interesting way of doing things. Yeah, okay, Ignis Phigia, the boss I wanted spawned this time, so that's good. Hopefully those ramblings were at all coherent. I feel like they were rather disjointed. But yes, in sum, the idea of having randomized boss spawns is really interesting because of what it presents in terms of the excitement of, I don't know what I'm going to find here each time I go out into the zone. The actual practice of not knowing what you're going to find each time you go out into the zone becomes really annoying when you're trying to actually get things. Like, if I could like do 2 passes of this and get like all of the elites, because I could bring 50 Sickness of Capture in here and have it recharge, but there's absolutely a reason why they get rid of the random spawns. I agree, Ravager. I don't know if you, or when you exactly showed up, but hello, welcome, good to see you. So it's like, the randomized spawns is theoretically cool and practically frustrating. Is really what it comes down to. And it's like, it would be another thing too if the locations for some of these were a little bit like, so if I had a chance to find it, say in, so a good example actually is the shadow bosses, or the shade bosses or whatever in the Shiver Peaks, where it's like, oh, or the Mersat bosses too. There's a chance that you'll find it here, or you'll find it here, or you'll find it here. And that's better than, oh, you have to hope that the boss that you wanted spawned in Perdition Rock, and that's the only place where it does spawn. Bit of a difference, but okay, where do I want to go next? But yeah, I absolutely agree. There's a very good reason to get rid of. I mean, fundamentally, what I want is I want a game that I intend to be making at some point, so. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. I'm hitting back on my thing, and it's like, there's way too much back here. Okay, Death Magic. Yeah, that's what I knew was coming. Okay, Virulence. Virulence is in the Shiver Peaks. I know where that zone is. Huh, it's also in the heart of the Shiver Peaks. Interesting. I need to go to the Rosen Forests. Yeah. If I have Copperhammer Mines, is that better? Yeah, I think Copperhammer Mines is better if I have it. Yeah, for sure. If they're guaranteed to spawn, or if there's like another way that they could do it is, which would require a lot of algorithmic work and wouldn't really work too well in Guild Wars. But if there was a chance to spawn, but the chance was modified by what elites you didn't have, so like bosses that have elites you don't have are more likely to spawn, right? If that was a concept that they had, that would help as well. Obviously, that's not a great solution, but how does this even work? I kind of want to use Glimmering Mark. This hex ends if you use a skill that targets this foe. This is a weird skill, and I'm not entirely certain how it functions. No, let's just get some of these things out of here. Let's bring Blinding Flash. Actually, I should bring... Actually, let's bring Lightning Hammer. And Shock Arrow. What does this do? Burning Foes. Again, like, that would be ridiculous to try to algorithmically do, of like, okay, let's see what all of the players have, and let's calculate out, like, what bosses spawn probabilities we want based on what players don't have, and all sorts of stuff that way. That would be another nightmare, but it's an interesting idea. For a different game, perhaps. I'm definitely glad that they went to certain spawns. Ooh. That's a bunch of iron. Yeah. Truncheon full of iron. Okay. I feel like I remember there being... Because the next elite that I'm kind of eyeing is... hang on. Do I have enough condition removal? A dismiss. You don't have anything. You don't have anything. I'm fine with what you're doing, but you don't have any condition removal. I mean, you can remove conditions from yourself if we inflict them. Yeah. Okay. We don't have enough condition removal. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely, Ravager. You are correct. You are correct. If there's more reliability, that would be less effective of a strategy, or less important of a strategy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably still worth rezoning. I agree, but at least, you know what? Let's just bring in RC. That's probably fine. Probably. No. But there's no reason to bring dismiss condition on an RC. That's just silly. Yeah. It does become boring to just rezone. Yeah, like... For the way that the game functions, it's definitely better to not have randomized spawns and all that nonsense. But I definitely like skill capping as a mechanic. Can't do anything with these guys knocking me down all the time. Enjoy. So as long as I ignore it, it's fine. We got Barl's Storm Siege down there. That's not who I'm looking for anyway. Uberhit Barkwood. What a name. Is that Joel and Steelblight? What am I... I'm looking for... are you going back, Wiki? Yeah, okay, you are. I'm looking for unthet rotwood. I should remember that I'm not supposed to cast spells until they're friggin' done spamming their Signet of Judgment opening volley. Teaching that Pine Soul a lesson is what's going on over there. You enjoy Glimmering Mark. Can I attack a Glimmering Marked target and not have it ends? How does this thing work, actually? Okay, so if I do this to you, then you use Smite Hex and I can't actually test things. Cool. Sure, why not? Why not? Pine Souls being rangers have a lot of armor against the stuff that I'm doing. I don't know, I'm just gonna blind this guy and energy blast him. Avacar Fierce, Guile. Linka Goldsteel. Of course, I stepped in a barbed trap. Okay, Nasher, have this. I'm gonna wand you. Okay, so I can wand, I just can't use skills. That's good to know. Let me just drop that on Linka Goldsteel for the moment. Show this Stone Summit Ranger what I think of them. Whatever, you enjoy that. Hey, some Dwarven armor. Where are my boss Pine Souls at? See, I'm sure I'm obstructed here. I am not obstructed. Okay, that was not what I was expecting. Yeah. These guys... The Tengu definitely are weak to lightning. National Hardwood. It's not who I'm looking for. Off-roll Deeproot. Man, these guys have some crazy names. Okay, let's bring this up so I can check the map. Okay, so I've seen those two in that one, so there's one more spawn right there that I want to go look into. And technically there's one to the south as well. Down there. Can I get close enough to see that spawn location? There's a muddy terrain going on back there, wasn't there? Oh, I can see there's some ice imps down that way. But so far, nothing of consequence. Okay, well, if it did spawn there, I cannot see it. So I'm just going to go back up this way and check that spawn location for Rotwood. Oh, Spirit of Muddy Terrain. Yeah, I'm past Deep Root here. Okay, come on. I know you're doing your opening rounds of knockdowns. Oh, I need to not be standing in that maelstrom. This maelstrom will interrupt me, and that's no good. There's Rotwood. Cool. He did spawn in a location I can go get him. Now it's a matter of trying to figure out what possible locations I can go get everyone's favorite elite, Aura of the Lich. Actually, I do like that skill. It's a lot of fun, but if the only place to get it is Hell's Precipice, I'm going to be... No, there's not. There's a Warren Kryta location. I know this because I got it the other day. Now, the question is, does this character have Warren Kryta active, or can this character get Warren Kryta active? Because a Warren Kryta spawn is a significantly better location to go get one of those than the actual standard issue Prophecy spawn locale. This is so much energy. Okay, now I can go get the elite I want. Virulence. I mean, okay, yeah, you dropped 103 gold. I'm going to pick that up. Let's just pop over to TOA for the moment. Okay. Aura of the Lich. Yeah. Saris. South of Beetleton. But only near the Warren Kryta. Do I have... I do appear to have Warren Kryta active. Okay. So the best way to go there is probably from Beetleton. So I'm going to need to leave this party and go to Beetleton. This is a... Provided this boss is spawning right now in this... Wherever it is that I am in Warren Kryta and all that jazz. It's probably the more enjoyable way of actually getting it. You know what? I'm tired of air magic. Let's go fire. I feel like some Rodgore's invocation action. A little bit of salvaging to go on as well. Ooh, improved sale value. I should probably sell some of these things. Yeah, like I've said, scepters can surprisingly often contain quite a bit of stuff that you might want. Okay, let's grab Talcora. She's the... Yeah, I don't know about RC here, but I think I'll leave it. And then I want both Ritualists. I think one of these guys is set up to be... Okay, yeah, I need to ungut her. Because I just want her to be standard... Standard Signet of Spirits. Yeah. Right, and I want fire, which means fire attunement, of course. Rod Gort's, Glowing Gaze. Next 4 spells. Oh, this isn't a spell. This is a skill. I kind of also want to grab Signet of Corruption. I don't think I will, but I kind of want to. What do I want to use as an elite? I can Glyph of Renewal. You know, I'm going to bring Energy Boon because I feel like it. How's that for an answer? Breath of Fire is cool. And how about Phoenix? Let's see. I want Daedalon. Yeah, I think he's got high fast casting. Oh no, he's Domination. That's fine too. Yeah, something like this will work. Sure. Shadow Hex, Mistrust. Yeah. And then I want Complicate and Tease. And this. Yeah, RC doesn't seem as important right now as having... What do I want there? Maybe I will go with Boon Signet there and Dismiss Condition. Yeah, why not? Choose some additional healing. So some additional defense. And how about I want some sort of physical attacker here. I think I'm just gonna grab Margaret and set her up with some barrage, probably. I still like having a random pin down. I'll go with Flesh My Flesh. Do I inflict cracked armor with anything? I don't think I do. I could. But I don't think I do. I think I'm going to switch to dulled weapon here. Yeah, okay. So body shot's not doing anything. I want barrage anyway. Savage shot, distracting shot. Do I want whirling defense? Not really. This is a sort of situation where if I was playing, I would probably just throw on like point blank shot, but I don't trust the AI to use that in any sort of intelligent manner. So I guess just Keen Arrow is fine. Or maybe Hunters? Yeah, let's go with Hunters. A little bit of additional degen pressure doesn't hurt, right? I don't think it's amazing, but it does help fuel necrosis. So there's that. You scared for my energy, Ravager? I'm gonna need to sell some materials soon. Here's what's going on. Okay, hopefully Warren Critus stuff is going on. I will be able to properly capture myself. This elite. Well, Murgoyle is not what I'd consider promising. Do I need to enlist the aid of the Asura to really be able to get this show on the road? Is this how this works? Oh. Okay. I'm gonna go just a little bit along just to see if I want those open because I do technically have an energy management skill with me. Oh, that's what it means to be a freaking elementalist in these sorts of areas. My goodness. Where was I? Okay, Alari Double Blade spawned. Let's see if the boss I want is around or not. I have a lot of health. Yeah. Okay, there's a lot of Murgoyle, which kind of doesn't feel like it is like properly in swing. That thing's gonna be how. So 127 to get to that. That's almost like 3 times. Okay, good. Peacekeepers out here. That's exactly what I wanted to see. So that's like negative 20 armor against fire or something. It's got to be something ludicrous like that. Excuse me. Hey, good old thing of brown. Excellent. Like I said at the start, I think I'm coming down with something. So I'm having all kinds of sneezies. But yeah, there's a boss here that has Aura of the Lich, and I feel like it's a significantly easier place to get it than the Hell's Precipice mission, which I view as a very difficult place to get it. I wonder what Loretta is doing that she's the lewd. That's an interesting moniker. I feel like Prius is probably my #1 choice for those gifts of energy. That's surprising armor over there. And plus 11 energy ain't bad. I do want to be careful to not, like, super aggro this area. Let me guess, Price needs more energy. Well, he gets it. Resurrection Signet, you say? Ah, interesting. Daedalon, have some energy. Guess maybe that should have gone to Talcora in retrospect. Okay, Larita the lewd. A, why are you the lewd? How did you get that? Nom to whatever they call it. Well, whatever, she's down. That's what matters. We survived that fight. What the heck? Why is there just a Peacekeeper Clairvoyant just determinedly sitting there? I mean, I'll take your orders. They're my orders now. To do with as I please. Well, that was rude. Here, I want more energy. Daedalon, have some energy. Right. Let me double check where this boss actually is in this area. Down there. Okay. Definitely an easier way to get Aura of the Lich, and I'm glad that they added an additional spawn location that is not awful. Hi, Divine Peacekeeper. How you doing? Feeling hot today? Yep. That looks like a likely location. Hello, Altfire. Thank you for the follow. Okay. Now give him... Wow, that Breath of Fire. Oh, I have Arcane Conundrum on me. That would explain it. I would explain it nicely. We don't need this many resurrection sickness, guys. Could you stop resurrecting yourselves? That would be great. Boy, everybody's low on energy. My team needs a better energy man. What? What's going on over there? There's just a group of dudes all bunched up. I don't understand what's happening. Margaret, you can have some energy. I know energy matters to you. Oh my goodness, who's running off like a nincompoop? Margaret. Oh, Margaret's trying to get an angle on him, I bet. What's even going on over here? It's like some sort of weird setup to it. I don't know. Here's the thing, is grouping up like that is just such a good way of getting yourself killed. I don't understand what their intention was. Okay, well, there's the boss that I want. So, like, most of this is not anything major. It's just a lot of minions over there on the boss is all. So it makes this look artificially worse than it is. All allies in the blast radius. Does all allies include spirits? Hang on. No, it does not. I didn't think so, but then it was just like weird. It's hard to identify what's going on exactly. Daedalon, you need more energy, my friend. To fuel your interrupt career. Live Deliverance looks a lot worse in the face of Rodgort's on your own face. A couple of Confessor's Orders out here, actually. I mean, Ceres is trying to do stuff. She's just not being very effective at it. And yeah, I'm using Rodgorts without Dual Attune, and it seems to be going fine. Okay, Talcora, here's some energy. Yeah, see? This is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 skills. I don't know what the last skill is, if there even was an 8th skill. That is such a easier location to get Aura of the Lich from than the one that you're originally supposed to get it from. Let's make a minion. Let's make a really bad minion. Oh, man. Look at the little baby minions. I get 2 of them right now. Isn't that cute? Okay. What's next on my list? I have elite skills to go capture. Necromancer elites. Let's see. This is death magic that we're doing right now. Yeah, because I think life transfer I got, offering of blood I got, or the vampire I got. I'm not doing this in any sort of like way that is cohesively making it easy to keep track of what I've grabbed. Tainted flesh I got, virulence. Grant's balance can be gotten in a bajillion places. So I'm not too worried about that. Okay. That means I think it's time to hit up... Where? Do I want to go to Nightfall and start capturing stuff, or do I want to go to Factions and start capturing stuff? You know what? I spent a lot of time in Nightfall recently. Let's go to Factions. Let's find ourselves a Cultist's Fervor. Ria's Crater or Morostov Trail. Where's this one? Right outside the Aros Mines. Oh, I can head to the Aros Mines and pick this up along the way if I don't. Okay, well, either way, we will address those things at a future time. The heck have I not done this skill? Excuse me. I'm gonna go do a quest I should have done ages ago, and it will be easy and not at all a problem. What was I doing? No, I was energy booning it. Energy boon. Let's bring Snowstorm. I don't know why I haven't done this quest. It is an entirely easy quest to have actually done at this point. Oh, hello. Yeah, I'll help. Okay, you know what? Not with this team. This team lacks a General Morgan. Get out here, Margaret the Sly. You are no General Morgan. Also, I kind of want to clear out my inventory of random stuff. That's where I store those. This is where I store these. Those are full up on those things, so that's annoying. Wow! 52 iron ingots from that cane is real good. That's pretty crazy. Truncheon, Earth Staff. Oh. I can get some Necromancer skills off of Necromancer Morgan. This is not a terrible idea. Yeah. Okay, as you've no doubt heard, there have been a number of recent disappearances among the townsfolk. Thus far, we've assumed they fell victim to the Stone Summit or other local menaces. The truth, grant forgive us, is something much, much worse. One of our order, a promising necromancer named Vrada, who I think actually teaches you skills in pre-searing Ascalon, has been experimenting with new ways to enhance and maintain summoned minions. Normally, this would be a good thing. However, in his lust for power, Vrada has been kidnapping Ascalon citizens to use in his experiments. He was also spotted waylaying travelers coming up into the mountains from Ascalon. We must stop him, quickly and discreetly, before anyone can link the disappearances with our order. Can you be of help in this situation? I will stop Vrada. Yeah, I will. Give me 3 free skills? Heck yes. I'm going to be doing so many random skill quests to save platinum and skill points. That's what I have determined. That's going to be happening here. I don't even know what this quest requires. Because it has been probably a literal decade since I've done it, if I had to guess. At least. Okay, so I have bad news for level 10 Stone Summit. The bad news is we're level 20. Yeah, I wish there was an Elementalist elite that just made your spells cast faster. That would be a nice energy storage elite. What if that was what Ether Prism did? If Ether Prism was just like enchantment, your Elementalist spells like refund some energy and cast 50% faster. That'd be cool. We doing random old quests now. It's good times. This is not a team optimized for this. Hey look, Vrada's Horror and Vrada's Fiend are out here. Hey look, it's a misguided juniper bark. I don't need a random red course over there. I mean, I'm going to be going to Ria's Crater, but then I just saw I had this quest in my log, and I felt compelled to do it, and then I found this other quest that gives me free skills, and it's just like, the whole thing has gone sideways. Vrada, your minions are pathetic. Really? You're killing people to make level 6 minions? Well, here we are, I guess. Great progress. Now, my minions, you will live beyond your normal span. Yes, Vrada's sacrifice, we know. It's a cool skill. Who interrupts my experiments? You're a dog sent by the Order to hound me, no doubt. You will regret crossing me, whelp. You have not heard the last of me. Really? That was the quest. The quest was walk down here and have Vrada run away from you. The heck sort of quest is that? I don't know, everyone. I don't know. Well, I will do that, but first, I need to find this missing artisan. Vrada should really not be wasting his time with such terrible minions. I do find it cool that we kind of get the skills that he's working on here later on, though. Baby meteor. They're pretending at being fire elementalists. Isn't that cute? I hit something for like 200 plus damage over there. Snowstorm is great. One thing that is clearly being a problem, though, is that these enemies are dying so fast I can't glowing gaze them after Rodgorts to get my energy back. That is deeply unfortunate for my energy. Okay, Artisan Rudger, explain yourself. It's true, Tabra did give me some hide stripes, but he's out of luck. I lost him escaping from the dwarves up on Traveler's Vale. I've decided the mountains aren't for me, friend. No, I'll stay here, safe in the shadow of Grenth, if you please. Believe it or not, I'm managing to survive all right up here. Every week or so, there's some refugees who come by, giving me a chance to ply my trade. Speaking of which, is there anything I can do for you? You might find the crafters up in Yaxbend require a thing or two that I can make. That actually makes sense, because it might be, and I don't know, but it might be that armor is some of the first armor. Okay, I'm a stickler for being like technically correct. So I'm like terrible at trying to teach people Magic the Gathering because I'll be like, this is normally how things work, but exceptions, 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 exceptions. And a giant list, and my arm went off the screen. But in Ascalon City, there is a crafter that will make you armor that's equivalent to like several stages up. I forget if it's Lion's Arch or exactly where it is, but it's much higher armor. Then there's somebody who will make you like the step up from the collector armor and pre-searing. And then you're going to be able to get a step up from that in Yaxbend. And it might be that Yaxbend step up requires these types of materials, whereas the armor in Ascalon that's not from Corwin, the worst stuff does not. And I don't recall offhand what's up with all that. But I'm wanting these guys for like 50 damage, which is pretty intense. I mean, if ever there was an area for flare, this would be one. Oswald Alston, loving husband in life, savior in death. My strength, my inspiration, my love. And now we get his ghost. Elsa sent you? Then she is alive and well. That is all I need here. Perhaps now my spirit can go in peace. Goodbye. Let's go get those skills. Yes, my party is too big to go here because I'm in a 4-person zone. Yep, that's how this works. Necromancer Morgan, I hear you have some free skills for me. Please give. Now that Verada knows that our order is after him, he will be careful not to show his face. This was not the desired goal, but it is a result we can work with. You have done well under difficult circumstances, Serenity of the Void. Just as it is quick to punish those who violate our rules, our order always rewards the faithful. Yeah, free skills. I'll have to look up at some point here what other free skills I can get from questing in Prophecies, because free skills are free skills, you know? This is a very strange Grim Cesta. I will identify it for selling. Scorched Lodestone. Those are full of granite. Kind of. For certain definitions of full of. Ah. This has improved sale value. Speaking of, let's go to the guild hall and take care of some sales. I'm going to run an ad break while I do that. Okay, step 1, sell stuff. I need this. And I want to check heralds. Yeah, that's what I thought. Let's salvage that. I'm gonna need... I have... Okay. Black Moa chick. Okay. This mansion can only be obtained after completing a cross-campaign scavenger hunt. The character must have access to all complaints of the North expansion. In brief, you must get a copy of Zoe's journal. Bring it to Catherine to craft an incubator kit. $50 spirit wood planks. Okay, so I see. This is a giant pain in the round. So I need a bunch of spirit wood planks, and I have a bunch of excess of wood. So it seems to me that it would be smart to craft some spirit wood planks with it. I also need steel ingots. I think I have a decent amount of steel. 5 platinum. Bunch of other random junk. The first important part here is needing the Zoe's journal from doing the Norn fighting tournament a bunch. So I'll hang on to this volcanic rock for the time being. I know I can craft spirit wood planks. Where can I... Yeah. I would need 5 platinum. And... Well, I don't need to craft 50. I need to craft 37. So... I mean, I subtract 13 off of that. Oh, no, not 13. 300. There we go. 37. And then I would need... Okay, I need more dust than that. Okay, in the midst of all of this... Where is a convenient artisan? Rudger, Toggle, Tango Roots. Man, none of these are in convenient locations. Panjing Peninsula, Seitung Harbor. Let's go to Seitung Harbor. And I will clean stuff up as this is progressing. Seitung Harbor. It's like making random preparations with the materials that I currently have. Was it Shinichiro? I did not actually check very closely. Yeah. 37. Thank you. You know what, let's just go to the guild hall, take care of things there, then come back and head over to where I need to go. Okay, because I do kind of want to do this quest. It is going to require me to do a lot of farming of the arena, because let's face it, to get Zoe's journal, it requires me to confront Zoe in the fight against the Norn tournament. So it's going to be way too much of that. I'll manage at some point here, but honestly, what I kind of feel like doing is wandering around doing a bunch of quests that to get me free skills. I need a salvage kit, and I'm going to go ahead and buy an ID kit as well, because the one that I have is just about spent. So, hang on. If I... Skill quests. Does that give me... not pre-searing. Nope, that's pre-searing Ascalon. I need post-searing. The Stolen Artifact. Death in the Ruins. Oberon's Rage. Yeah, there's a lot of free stuff here. I think most of the... yeah, a lot of these quests aren't going to be able to give anything to me. Because they are... I mean, unless I have not done them, but because they aren't like profession specific. But there's a bunch in Ascalon. Yeah, okay, so I can do like fragility, power spike, and channeling. What was this character originally? I wonder. Okay, well let's go find the stolen artifact. Find the holy relic and bring it back to Sarlacc Sanitarium. Okay, well let's go to Sarlacc Sanitarium then. Seems to follow. Kyning Center, Lion's Arch. This bar does not make a whole lot of sense to bring here. I'm just gonna grab Mind Burn. And Flame Burst. I mean, I'm not worrying about capturing stuff right now. I'm just gonna get skills. Point blank. Oh yeah, Bed of Coals is really good with that knockdown stuff that I was trying to do earlier. Intensity is good here. And I guess Fireball is attractive. Sure. Necromancer Mune. And Cache of Blackblood. Stolen Artifact. Let's slap on General Morgan, Talcora, and I don't know whatever Margaret the Sly's up to. I have a task that seems well suited to your skills. One who was once a respected member of our order has turned against Ascalon. Oberon the Reviled seeks to live up to his name by carving out his own kingdom of the dead here in the ruins of Ascalon. Oberon is cunning, but has an uncontrollable temper and can be goaded into action. I'd like you to head east of here, find his minions, and slay them. I think 6 should be a sufficient number to raise Oberon's ire. Are you up to the task? The Stolen Artifact. Do you wish to prove yourself a true necromancer? Then I have a task for you. A group of Grawl raided the sanitarium several days past. We drove them off, but not before they carried off a valuable artifact, a holy relic that Menlo had retrieved from the catacombs. The Grawl were last seen just north of here. I shall accompany you on this mission to evaluate your performance. When you are ready, meet me just outside the sanitarium. What say you? I am way over ready. I am so over ready, the Grawl will burst into flames just looking at me. That's not entirely accurate, but it's not accurate. Okay, what are we looking at here? We're looking at some Grawl. These Grawl did not go very far. Look, I'm two-shotting them with Flare. If I look at them... My goodness. Hey, Grawl. Explode for me, please. I found your holy relic. I don't know how you managed to lose it like this. You are inept. You're also level 5, so I guess I can forgive you a little bit. I really want an RPG that, like, acknowledges level differences more or something. This should be far enough. Bring the relic to me and I'll make sure it gets back to its proper place in the sanitarium. Cool. You gave me 4 skills for that. With the return of this relic, the inmates of the sanitarium will sleep easier this night, and it's all thanks to you. You show some real talent for the high art of necromancy. I didn't do necromancy. I did mind burn. I know you don't have a conception of mind burn because you're in friggin' Ascalon, but thank you for Insidious Parasite. Did I already have all the other skills? Probably. Probably from becoming a necromancer. I don't really care. I'm just gonna go mind burn some minions and free skills are free skills. That's my thoughts on the matter. Welp. Oberon was also a necromancer trainer in Precinct. I really like the development that they did with some of this stuff, and it's cool to see these quests that I have not had any reason to pay attention to for a long time. Okay, let's go return back to Cache of Blackblood. Those were quick and easy. Hello, Kasha. Give me my free skill, please. And you killed 6 of his minions, you say? Excellent. Oberon should be truly enraged. Your actions this day are certain to draw him out of hiding. Dark Pact, Mark of Pain. Our plan seems to have worked. My spies inform me that Oberon is headed here even now to seek revenge on the one who slew his minions. Of course, I don't have to tell you that it's in both our best interests for you to slay Oberon. He comes for you up the road from the east even now. Are you ready to face him? I am more than ready. I am way more than ready. This is really interesting to me because, like, so these are skills that I have not seen in a very long time. So from a lore standpoint, it's really interesting to reevaluate them or to kind of re-encounter them, because this is talking about, like, Oberon the Reviled was a necromancer trainer in Pre-Stirring. I know this because I friggin' had a warrior necromancer in Pre-Stirring. I've got bad news about your minions. They seem to be spontaneously combusting. Hey, Oberon the Reviled. Where is a Grant's cursed whelp who dare lay hand upon my servants? Bye. Like, I'm obviously not doing these at all level appropriate and skill appropriate or anything like that. I'm super OP, but relative to this part of the game, which is what you'd hope from somebody who's... Yeah. But it's interesting. Oberon's skills must have been slipping. Still, you did manage to defeat him, so I suppose you deserve some sort of reward. I will take those free skills. Okay, so I know that there's gonna be... I think there's a dude in Pickens Square that has a quest, too, if I remember correctly. Undertaker Quartus, I think, has a quest. Yeah, I'm just, like, remembering things offhand. With all of the recent battles, I haven't the time to retrieve all of the family crest identifying the fallen soldiers. I could certainly use some help in this regard. Will you investigate the battlefields and return 10 family crests to me? I will help you count the fallen. So it's interesting to see what some of these quests are, and to see some of the, especially the things that were pointing out some of the fallout after this hearing. Where Verada was a very early necromancer trainer, if I remember correctly. And, oh, we're going to make some Char be very sad. Hi, Mindburn. Mindburn just ends them instantly. I mean, Flare hits these guys like a truck, so... but it's interesting seeing some of these things. And, like, Oberon the Reviled and Verada were both trainers. And Verada goes on to be in... Southern Kryta, where he's being a problem. Being a huge problem, actually. Yeah, that guy's gonna burn down. Or maybe not. I guess I could have popped my flame burst there. Honestly, I mostly brought the rest of these guys to speed me on my way with fallback, and then to keep him alive, maybe, if he needed it. But I'm just as happy for them to make all these guys dead. Well, I see. There's a lot of Ascalonian guards here. I do admit, I am enjoying that. Just giant pile of damage. Ooh, red die. Don't mind if I do. Okay. Let's acquire some family crests. How many do I need to be picking up here? 10? How many do I have? 7. Oh my goodness! This is the same icon used for Cornin coins. I had forgotten it even existed at this point. Wow. To me, that's the Cornin coin icon. So the fact that it was originally Family Crest in this random Necromancer quest is something I had completely forgotten. Or, let's be more honest, not ever realized. Huh. Fascinating. Okay, Undertaker Cortis. Many thanks for your help. With the information you have brought, coupled with my own efforts, I can compile a casualty report for War Master Titus. Thank you for the free skill. Okay, what else am I... What else can I do for you? So I did Death in the Ruins, Oberon's Rage, Fallen Soldiers, Casualty Report. Okay. And that quest gives me another skill. And then that'll be all of these. The Stolen Artifact gives you a bunch of skills that you'd get otherwise, plus a bonus one. Just to kind of catch you up if you missed some skill quests, I think, in pre-searing. Okay, so what am I missing? Maybe I need to reload this zone. Oh. Okay. Interesting. It's possible that I've done the quest already because it can actually be gotten on anyone but only Necromancers. Carry it forward, so I may have missed out on that, or I may have done it already and gotten the skill from it. I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter. What skill would that have given me? Shadow Strike? Do I have Shadow Strike? No, it's possible I did it on this character for the experience points. That's okay. That is okay. All right, so let's go ahead and continue our process of actually getting some elite skills now, and I do want to remember those for the other professions. Because, I mean, free skills are free skills, right? And I needed to go... It was right outside... Whoo, boy. Okay. Well, Seafarer's Rest it is. We got ourselves a march ahead of us. That's what we've got. The rest of most of the stuff is not worth... Okay. Highly salvageable means that this gives me 2 instead of 1. Charhide also is not worth salvaging. Well, at least Shunlight chests will interact with me. Not going to be certain of that. But I don't think anybody else does. You're all merchant-y, and you're like, ah, we're Kurzik right now. Yeah, the factions mechanic is one of those things. It's like this idea is really cool, but the execution just leaves me disappointed. Like, Maybe that needs some explanation. I don't know. But the basic... here, I want Gorin. I want to use Beta Fire, and I want to do it with Gorin's help. You know what? Yeah, let's bring these guys again, and let's bring Livia. I probably have too much healing between Zandra, Livia, Dunkoro, and Talcora. Yeah, that's a little bit too much. So what if I dump Dunkoro? Yeah, I like this plan. I like this dump Dunkoro plan. And what if I bring, say, Milani? And just give her... whatever, get rid of some of these. Actually, you know, Signal of Aggression is not the worst idea, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I think Earth Prayers. I'm going to give her Avatar of Dwayna. Just for a little bit of additional, like, Healy type things. And there's a lot of hexes that go on here. I can maybe do those, and actually let's do like this Radiant Scythe and Twin Moon, and then a Resurrect. And can achieve a critical hit and deal 15 less damage. Like, this is serious debilitation, but he's also proven to have serious energy issues, even with the 15 reduction on, like, these. I think I might change him over to Binding Chains. Let's see, she has some energy management. That's cool. Yeah, we actually are making a lot of offensive spirits, which works really well. Yeah, okay, I'm going to stick with fire. This feels a little bit better. I don't need Snowstorm. I'll have to keep intensity. I like Mind Burn. You know what? Let's keep Mind Burn. And let's use Phoenix. I need to bring a Signet of Capture. I'm actually going to go ahead and bring Elemental Lord. This one because it's better. Give me a little bit more oomph. Okay, so we're going to need to make a march through to Orios Mines. I keep looking at things. Is everybody set up the way that I want them to be? Oh yeah, no, I'm not. I want Fireball deals more damage than Phoenix. Let's just shop Phoenix and bring Bed of Coals. Yeah. Any foe knocked down on Bed of Coals set on fire for 7 seconds. That's what I want. I want Goron to walk up to people, and I want him to counter blow them into Bed of Coals and burn them. Should I? You know what? No, I'm gonna go ahead and slap Phoenix on here instead of Fireball. I want the additional healing support. Okay, so let's head north through Ria's Crater. This is going to be a bit of a hike, but and I'm not sure. Yeah, because I know the general area that I'm going, but this is a zone that I'm like increasingly familiar with, but still not familiar with. So this might go a little poorly. I don't know. We'll find out. There we go, and that stuff's all cleaned out. Cool. So 17 fire, that definitely boosts things a little bit. I mean, it's better than nothing, right? I'm not quite sure how much it boosts things by, but... Whew, that made a lot of numbers happen. I enjoy lots of numbers. Hi, afflicted warrior. How you doing? Focus of Hanaku. The heck is this? Like, I know or whatever Hanaku was the boss at the end of Boreas Seabed, but... Man, Mindburn is pretty cool. I like Mindburn. You guys get to enjoy that business. Everything can be on fire. Alright, let's deal with this assassin. This assassin's being an obnoxious jerk. Returning 3 energy is kind of good enough. Ooh, a random terrible FDS. Excellent. Just what I always wanted. Now, this team seems to be doing actually shockingly well. Sometimes this area can go really poorly. I'm not quite sure what I 100% attribute that to, but I'll take it. That's the end of that train of thought. Oh, I did get both off on that. That's cool. Yeah, a lot of those I'm not going to get both damage pips off on. See, the thing that I like about Mindburn is it makes stuff burn for friggin' ever. Like, the amount of... It's like 11 seconds of burning. Which is just ludicrous. Like, 11 seconds of burning is... Let's see... 154 damage from burning. Which I think we can all agree is a lot and quite intense. Ooh, I think I got a screenshot in here that I use as a background thingy. That's cool. These guys hate enchantments now that I think about it. I should be careful of them. Zones that hate enchantments are especially brutal for Elementalists just because they tend to rely on enchantments so much. Well, enjoy your Chillblains spam, I guess. I can give you this bed of coals. It's doing what I needed to do. That is a lot of wells, and I suspect all of them are rather uncomfortable to be in long term for me. Or maybe they're good for the enemy. I don't really know. But that is an awful lot of wells. That's what I do know. Intensity does not actually synergize very well with this build. I should have dropped that, and I did not. But oh well. It's okay. Most of my skills are just not high enough damage to really make intensity sing. It works super well with what's that skill called? Um Lightning Hammer. Got there. Teach that guy what's what. Wave Crest Stonebreak. That does not sound like what I want for a boss. I want to go this way, I think. I don't know. I might end up fighting Wave Crest. I don't really care. Oh. Okay, sure. Yeah, here comes a boss. Let's see. Target foe and all adjacent foes take damage. If you have more energy than target foe, that foe and all adjacent foes take an additional damage and set on fire. Cool. Turtle shell is real annoying. That is all. This guy doesn't strike me as being particularly strong. What did he even have? Shatterstone? Yeah. I mean, I have all of these skills, so. Glyph of Elemental Power. Cool. So there's an outpost over here called Orios Mines, which is where I'm actually kind of headed. There is the boss that I want to capture a skill off of is just outside or near that area. Yeah, Cultist Miltherin right here. So I'm going to talk to our lovely cultist friend with fire. And after acquiring his dubious elite, that I have found some use for, but, well, I'm getting chillblazed. I will go to the outposts. Yeah, give me your cultist's fervor. Cool. The Orios Mines. Cool. So then this outpost is some sort of challenge mission that I don't recall ever doing. So that's neat. What elite do I want to go after next? We've still got some time here. We got like 45-ish minutes. 45, 50. Necromancer. Give me Necromancer elites. Let's see. Cultist Fervor. Ah, yes. Spoil Victor. Morningvale Falls or Silent Surf. Oh, this is right outside Unwaking Waters Luxon. Okay, well, let's go to Unwaking Waters Luxon. It looks like it's just north of here. Like, just north of here. I want to slap Meteor on here. I know Intensity works well with Meteor, but never mind that fact. Silent Surf. This is one ocean that's making no noise. It's a silent surf. 6 bones from that. Throw it on my bone pile. My bone hoard, you might say. So it did indicate that this is some sort of patrolling boss, which doesn't surprise me. Yeah, sour rot shell over there. Hehehe. Oh, goodness, that hurt. I don't know, just get meteored. Yeah, there's another Mesmer boss over there that has like an Echo boss or something. I'm gonna pop back to Seafarer's Rest so we're not in random combat. Okay, that one was ludicrously easy to get, which was cool. Vampiric Spirit. Where can I get this? Ooh, Arborstone. One way or another in Arborstone. Skill's functionality has changed. See its skill revision history for details. Don't mind if I do. So let's see. Vampiric Spirit. Your spells cost 3 more energy, but whenever you cast a spell, you steal a bunch of health from one nearby foe. That sounds vaguely more interesting than we have now. And then it was changed in 2008 to steal health from a target foe and give you a bunch of health regen. And then that was tweaked because apparently its recharge was too low. So this is, like... Oh, that's annoying. Okay, so it's... Yeah, I need to go from Altram Ruins. So this is something worth kind of talking about a little bit, I think. I'm going to need more Sickness of Capture soon-ish. Soonish. So, where do I want to start this thought? Blood magic. Blood magic is got a design space problem. It's got a very particular design space problem. So design space is the concept, and I've been thinking about this some lately, which is part of why it's on my mind. But design space is the idea of how many like different effects you can create. Blood magic, at least, so it doesn't necessarily strictly have a design space problem. The design space problem is that it's kind of been defined in 2 ways. Blood magic is largely life stealing and like health sacrifice skills. So if you look at blood magic, which we can do because I have Olivia right here with blood magic, you'll notice that it's kind of ignoring Awaken the Blood. Health sacrifice, or there's some stuff that's kind of tangentially related, like Blood Bond is kind of interesting. But life steal, health sacrifice spell, health sacrifice spell, health sacrifice spell, life steal. This is effectively a health sacrifice spell. I don't know why why Dark Bond is in blood magic. Honestly, it feels like a death magic spell that they shoved in here so that way you couldn't just like slap it on any old death magic necromancer. Dark Fury is life sacrifice, life sacrifice. Again, this got changed, and it was originally a life sacrifice spell to give you more maximum health, and then it's just kind of hung out here in blood magic for whatever reason. This also has been changed, kind of, but I think it was originally lifesteal. This is a lifesteal skill. It's just slow. Lifesteal. I don't remember if this one had health sacrifice or not, but there's a couple like random oddities like Mark of Fury and Mark of Subversion. Mark of Subversion does have lifestealing attached to it though. Health sacrifice. Again, this is kind of more in I don't know. This one feels more like death magic, if I'm going to be honest. To me, and the reason why is because this does not deal lifesteal and it inflicts conditions. Those and neither of them are bleeding. Those are both things that I associate with death magic more than blood magic. Health sacrifice, health sacrifice, health sacrifice, and lifesteal. Lifesteal, health sacrifice. This is technically a health sacrifice because you're inflicting bleeding on yourself, plus bleeding super connected. This is lifesteal. I think this got in here because it was thematically connected to stuff, or they didn't want to put it in curses. This does not feel quite like blood magic to me. But it does have to deal with health. So if you have lower health, it does stuff. Lifesteal, sacrifice, lifesteal, 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 health sacrifice. And then these are kind of like connected to health regen that gets kind of lumped into blood magic. So, like, if we're talking about this very loosely, blood magic thematically, like, the thematic connection of it is this is either stuff where you're stealing blood from other people, and that's lifesteal, or you're sacrificing your own blood in order to do some sort of powerful magic as a consequence, right? And that's where you get all the health sacrifice. I think I would have to check to verify this, but it would not surprise me if blood magic has the highest number of skills in a single attribute that involve life sacrifice effects. And of course, Awaken the Blood thematically fits in that with that. Whenever you sacrifice health, you sacrifice more because you're sacrificing more blood in order to increase the power of your spells. That's kind of the idea. So unfortunately, what kind of ended up happening is there was like certain, rather than those large mechanical themes, and I definitely think blood magic needed to lean more on sacrifice skills like Dark Fury or Blood Ritual or Blood Renewal or Touch of Agony, things that sacrifice your own health rather than lifesteal. But unfortunately, a heavy emphasis was placed on lifesteal, and that just, it's a very shallow area. You can't, like, you can try to come up with interesting ways of doing lifesteal, but in the end, it's just like you have to be really careful with it because it is intrinsically very powerful. Lifesteal, bluntly, it's very powerful because it gives a bunch of it's a very strong resource exchange. And what they ended up finding is the more that they made, the more of a problem it became, they being ArenaNet. Because, man, Meteor is so good here. Because what ends up happening is your life-stealing skills, they originally were able to go through every single form of protection, their armor ignoring, and stacking like a couple of them up on a single or on like half of the team was extremely powerful. Here's the boss I want. Crossstone Reap. Pretty sure. Okay, this was not too bad to get to. Unless this is not the boss I was thinking of. I'm happy to interrupt Chillblains. No, this might be a different boss than the one I'm looking for. Yeah, this is Lingering Curse. I saw him earlier when I was looking at that stuff. I want a boss that's more that way, I think. It's for Spoiled Victor is what I'm looking for. But anyway, it's just one of those things where lifesteal as a mechanic is hard to do. Like, you have to start getting very creative with what you're doing with it, or it's just like you're getting more copies of the same basic effect, or you're getting more powerful stuff. Like, it just becomes a problem if you're not careful. Is really fundamentally what the issue is. I already have Shockwave on this character because I have all of those skills. Meryl Stoneweaver. There's a heck of a lot of random bosses around here. I'm not looking for Meryl Stoneweaver. Where is the boss I'm looking for? So, anyway, what you ended up having, okay, it looks like I want to be more over here. But I might need to go really around to get there, from the looks of things. So yeah, anyway, what ends up happening is if you hone in on like the orders and the lifesteal sort of angle, which is kind of what they did to an extent, or you can't make a ton of orders because either they end up stacking and become ludicrously powerful, which is kind of what happened. Oh man, these things are so friggin' durable. Which obviously creates serious issues. when stuff is stacking like that. Get out of the way, I guess. Because what ends up happening, like, there's a reason they made Order of the Vampire not stack with Order of Pain. And it was because when they did, it was too conceptually strong for where they wanted things to be balanced. Right? And so you run into these issues where if you make these things appropriately like stack together and work together, then you end up creating a build that becomes aggressively powerful. But if you don't make them work together, then it's just kind of like, what's the point? So it leaves you in this very awkward position, right? And there's not really a great solution to that awkward position. Other than don't lean too heavily into that as a mechanic. But then that kind of splinters out into other things like the, what was it? Mark of Fury leans into that idea of, oh, this happens. Or like Strip Enchantment is a lifesteal way of doing enchantment removal, which I think inspires something like Jaundice Gaze, which is like, and then you kind of get Blood Ritual, Blood is Power, and Offering of Blood, right? Which are all energy management. So then it kind of like, oh, is blood magic about energy management? Well, it gets that theme. Then you get Cultist Fervor that plays into that, for example. Well of Power also plays into that originally as well. So you kind of get this idea that, well, is it about energy management? Is it about lifesteal? Is it about orders? It's kind of like yes and no. And leaning too heavily into the lifesteal angle, I think is really bad for it because there's just not a whole lot of interesting and compelling lifesteal skills that you can make before, like, there's just not. I don't think that's a very deep design well. And then it compounds by creating issues of, ooh, a Kurzik key, that's fun, of balance, because lifesteal can't get too good. And then everything just kind of looks awful, and why do you want to use it? And so basically what I'm saying is they really needed to not make blood magic as much about lifesteal as they did. And they should have leaned more into other interesting life sacrifice effects. And of course, you always have problems there of like, okay, well, what are the limits of what the Necromancer can do? What are the limits of what blood magic can do? And you always need to kind of constrain the space somewhat, otherwise you don't have reason to go into other attributes, and that's bad for the game. You want people to go into attributes for specific effects. And this is why I don't like Foul Feast from a design standpoint, because I think it's cool that the Necromancer has to dip into the Monk in order to be able to get those effects. And just naturally giving it to it, I think, is makes it too insular. I like cross-profession synergies. But again, I kind of have gotten the impression that the designers at ArenaNet were maybe less enthusiastic about that than I am. Than I am about him. So your mileage will vary there, unfortunately. But this is where you run into issues of like, what is the mechanical expression of what different things are, and what do you want the limitations of some of that to look like, and professions are more defined by what they can't do than by what they can do, as well. It should be noted. I think the boss will probably spawn in here. This is interesting too. This floor texture. Okay, is there something I'm missing? This feels like this is where the boss should be. This floor texture is the same one that's in like Nolani Academy and the End of Ruins of Sturmia. Is this some sort of magic circle? Like, what's the significance of this design? I don't think there is one, but it kind of does ask the question, what is the significance of this design? This feels like this is where this boss should be. Hang on, am I missing something? Yes, this is not where this boss is. The boss is actually further north. This feels like there's something really important here, and then there's absolutely nothing, and it's very strange. It's a cool little room, though. Reminds me a bit of the catacombs, actually. The boss I want is like on the other side of this wall, apparently. So yeah, it's like what, to some extent, it's defining, okay, what doesn't this do? What does it do? But it's finding those limits and what differentiates it, because what it doesn't do is what differentiates it from everything else, right? If monks don't do X, like ritualists, part of what differentiates ritualists from monks is that they can't remove hexes. Like that's a hard cap. That's something that ritualists don't do. They don't remove hexes. And so that kind of defines the profession some. Is that a bird flying onto the roof? And so, like, you need to have some amount of that to differentiate the professions and also to differentiate the attributes within a profession. Like, why do people go into curses? Why do people go into death magic? And, like, death magic in general has more of a condition emphasis, kind of. It certainly has a disease emphasis. I would have liked to have seen the condition emphasis in blood magic more emphasized. So I'd make death magic about disease and poison, and curses about like weakness and cracked armor, and blood magic about bleeding in terms of like when they do stuff with conditions, these are the conditions they work with. But it's always difficult to kind of figure out how things should be put together. It's interesting to think about, though. It's useful to think about if you're going to be making games. To think about, okay, what are the goals that I'm trying to accomplish? And how do I go about them? What lessons can I learn? Like, one of the things I think is a big lesson from Guild Wars 1, just to kind of ramble on here, is that you need to carefully consider your business model. Because I think one of the things that caused a problem for ArenaNet with Guild Wars 1, I think I need to go up this way and around, is that I don't think they thought through how their business model actually plays out in practice. So they thought through, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to introduce new professions. But there's things like the pacing of prophecies, to me, clearly demonstrates that they weren't thinking through how adding new campaigns would affect players with existing characters, or what sort of design space that they'd want to leave for the professions. And I think they did a really good job with the Assassin in terms of carving out some new design space for it. How is this not just another warrior or a ranger, right? And it fits in a nice spot. Because the original 6 professions do a really good job of covering a very wide berth of design space, which is cool, but also kind of a problem because it makes it hard. Do we have some enchantment removal? Okay, good. We're able to push that guy back. But anyway, yeah, the design space... they did a really good job with the initial set of professions about differentiating them and things like that. And then things have got more and more blurred the more skills they added as they try to figure out new things for the professions to do. And like I said, I think the Assassin fell in a really good spot. Oh, my inventory's full. I'm going to salvage some stuff here. Sure, we'll salvage this. It'll combine it with things. But one of the things I see as an issue with... oh, well, okay, we'll fight these guys. Some of the Ritualist is the Ritualist just doesn't... It's a very insular and parasitic profession. And what I mean by that is to define a parasitic mechanic. A parasitic mechanic is a mechanic that it doesn't really have a whole lot of sway outside of it. It's a term used in Magic the Gathering design to refer to stuff where the mechanic doesn't really exist outside of the set. So, for example, Splice is very parasitic. It requires you to interact with arcane spells, and it doesn't really interact outside of Kamigawa, right? The Kamigawa block. So that's kind of an example of something that's very, very parasitic in the sense that if you want to do it like this is how you have to do it, and this is very limited, doesn't play with all that stuff, versus... I need to take this gardener out. You get mine burnt. I'm kind of using mine burn as have a pile of health degen. So like the ritualist comes along. It's a new thing, and there's just not a whole lot of stuff otherwise like it. In that, like, so the spirits are really good. The spirits are really good because lots of professions can interact with spirits because the way you interact with them is by attacking. And there's some skills that directly do stuff with them, but you can interact with them by attacking. Weapon spells and item spells, on the other hand, do not have very much interaction. They are kind of basically enchantments that you can only have one of either of them at a time. And item spells come with the downside of you cannot use them with your... I need to reapply my things here. You can't use item spells with your weapon. So you lose your weapon when you have them out, which is a pretty serious downside, realistically speaking. This team is doing really well. I'm quite pleased with it. Okay, I think the boss I want is actually down in here. Yeah, Coswell Webstrider. Man, this was a heck of a trip to find. I think my thing ended by that point, but oh well. So weapon spells don't have a whole lot of stuff that wants you to have weapon spells. And there's not a whole lot of stuff that wants you to not have weapon spells. Compare this with enchantments. Like, enchantments have a bunch of things that interact with them. Okay, finally. They have skills to remove enchantments. They have skills to punish you for having enchantments. They have... skills that they have things that benefit from you being enchanted. They have things that have downsides for being enchanted. Like, there's just a lot of sort of interplay with enchantments. But weapon spells there really isn't much. There is like 2 healing skills that care about somebody having a weapon spell on them. So Mending Grip. If that ally is under the effects of a weapon spell, they lose 1 condition. And Wielder's Boon, which heals for more if they are under the effects of a weapon spell. And then there's Wielder's Strike, which does more damage if you are affected by a weapon, but I would prefer this to deal more damage to somebody who has a weapon spell on them. I think that would be more interesting. And then there's a couple of like elites and stuff that interact with them. So like, there's also Wielder's Remedy, which benefits when you cast them, which is not quite the same thing, and Wielder's Zeal, which benefits you when you cast them. So, but it's like the amount of space, yeah, like Renewing Memories is specifically made to interact with those things. They're very insular. They're very insular to the Ritualist, and professions outside the Ritualist do not really interact with weapon spells or item spells. What's the elite that I want to go after next? Well, I think what I want to actually go after next is a cleared inventory, because my inventory is full of junk right now. So let's run an ad break while I clear that out. And I'll go on my continued design rants afterwards. Oh yeah, I need to ID this FDS. Cool. the surprise of absolutely no one, that FDS is junk. Or at least not to my surprise, anyway. Night Stalkers, eh? What do I get out of this truffle? Ooh, plant fibers. Excellent. Had one wood plank. It's kind of awkward. Well, I had another few that I could have gotten out of something if I needed to. Undertaker, I don't think is worth anything, but Vitae is... Oh, Undertaker's worth a tiny amount. Not enough, but Vitae is worth, yeah, enough. Night Stalker, I think, is valuable. Yeah, it's got some value, not as much as it used to. I think all of the assassins have gotten geared up, and now everybody's trying to gear up their Mesmer heroes. Okay, I don't... This is important. Okay, did not randomly get anything in there. Good. Just wanted to make sure of that. How am I doing? Slowly building up my granite. I eventually want to get her granite gloves, but that's kind of as I get to it sort of thing. I'm liking this build overall. Where's my mind burn? Why did I not get an elite meteor? Ah, whatever. It doesn't matter. I've been doing a good job of using up these signets of capture, though. I'll tell you what. Let's see here. Order of Apostasy. Man, Nightfall does not like enchantments. Had both Corrupt Enchantment and Pain of Disenchantment. Okay. Dragon's Throat. Dragon's Throat's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, it's during the challenge mission. I don't really have a good reason to do that. I don't know if I have the Afflicted Huan. Was it? Oh, right. I don't know where this character is with regards to Winds of Change stuff, but... Undercity. This one... I mean, if I had Vizuna local, it'd be really convenient, but I don't. Looks like it's easy to get to from Buck Deck Byway. So, Marketplace to Buck Deck Byway, and then over and around. This is where you end up going with Zenmai, I think, so... Yeah, this team is doing surprisingly well, so I'm quite happy about that. Do I want to keep using Mind Burn? I think so. I'm enjoying Meteor as well. But yeah, I feel like the Ritualist's design space area, it was kind of very... It was constructed in a way that didn't interact well with a lot of the other professions, mechanics, and that makes it less immediately synergistic, and that makes it very parasitic with itself. And that's where you get, like, a lot of the Ritualist stuff is really strong, but it kind of also forces you to bring a lot of Ritualist stuff. So, for example, Spirit, Light, Men, Body, and Soul, these are both really good, but it requires you to be bringing spirits with you. And while technically Rangers have spirits, you're not using a lot of nature rituals in most builds. So it's realistically, you're bringing a lot of additional ritualist spirits. So that's not the worst thing or anything, but... I wish that it had been kind of envisioned a bit differently as a profession in some regards. Because I feel that its design is too insular to just a ritualist. Like, Dervish also works really well because, again, its emphasis is on stuff that interacts with what all professions, or with enchantment removal, that is like broadly a mechanic in the game. In contrast to the shouts and chants shenaniganry of the Paragon. I fundamentally have huge issues with how the Paragon is designed. I think leadership was a mistake. Because it pushes the Paragon into needing, or it pushes you into wanting to give the Paragon a bunch of party-wide shouts and chants, which then become extremely powerful because you're affecting everyone. And there's too much stuff that's like self-referential to using shouts and chants as well in the Paragon, to the point where like it's also super sort of parasitic in an incredibly aggressive way that makes you just want to bring a bunch of shouts and chants. And part of that is echoes, the refrains and finales, were a really bad idea. Because again, it encourages that sort of over-aggressive, your party is just a giant pile of shouts and chants mindset. That I think is just not great for the game. Well, that was terrible. Can we take down this boss, please? There's so much junk here. Okay, we're aggressively overaggroed. Part of what happened here is there's a giant pop-up spawn that's hard to kind of play around for obvious reasons. I'd like to be allowed to have some enchantments, please. Oh, whatever. I mean, we did a good damage towards them, but like I said, giant pop-up spawn makes it difficult to appropriately interact with that because you're suddenly fighting a lot of enemies at once. I think the Paragon would have been more interesting with a lot of single target skills. And I think leadership should have been something else. Too many primary attributes are basically some form of energy management anyway, if you ask me. Yes, Frenzy. These guys use Order of Apostasy, so it's stripping my enchants, which is not great for my energy. Thankfully, we have Blood as Power. That helps with that tremendously. Do I have any knockdowns that don't cost or cause exhaustion? Like, just in general. Like, Air Magic's got, like, 3... I guess Whirlwind technically doesn't, but it's conditional. This causes exhaustion. Shock does. This does not. But this has a delay to it, and it can be removed. This is not a bad option. But again, it's conditional. It takes up my elite slot. I'm just kind of thinking through some of this here a little bit. You move like a dwarf isn't actually technically an option, but it's not what I'm not thinking about. Stoning is conditional, but that condition's not hard to meet. Obviously, Earthquake and Dragon Stomp do cause exhaustion. I should try doing an Iron Mist type build at some point. Fire Magic has Meteor and Meteor Shower that both cause exhaustion. Slippery Ground does not, but it requires them to be blind or moving. That's certainly feasible. That's an interesting one to think about. Can I do slippery ground on a bed of coals? Yes, I can. I can make a really, really stupidly convoluted Master of Magic build that uses blinding flash, slippery ground, and bed of coals in order to knock people down into a bed of coals to set them on fire. That sounds like a lot of work and not necessarily all that much payoff, but I mean, technically, you can. I don't know, just thinking through weird oddities. Was the Afflicted Huan the boss I was looking for? Yes, the answer is yes. Well, obviously I'm not allowed to have enchantments here. Sheesh. Okay, I suspect we may wipe again if we're not careful. There's a large group coming in, like, over there. That might become a problem. And we've got a massive spawn up pile here. We can't keep enchantments on anyone worth anything. Yeah. This is a problem in this zone. Like, what can I do about this wipe but try to, like, pre-spawn some of these enemies? Oh. Well, good job, General Morgan. Maybe? That was a We Shall Return. It gave us a second chance at death penalty. I don't know. Maybe Gora and Zandra can hang in there and do something. I doubt it. There's just too many enemies. Oh, now Price gets a turn to die. Cool. Well, that was a mess. Yeah, it certainly is. Also, hello, what's up, cool guy? Yeah. I did not there are so many pop-up groups of afflicteds. Like, okay, what am I supposed to do when I literally cannot engage this properly? Like, I walk in here, and here's a lone group of enemies. Oh, you walked up to them and engaged some aggro. We're going to spawn another 2 groups of enemies here for you to deal with. It's like, maybe please don't? Like, it's one thing to spawn a group of enemies. It's quite another entirely to spawn, like, 2. And when there's already a group of enemies. Yeesh. Ah, yes, please group up. Make my life easier. Okay, we need to deal with some of this junk in our backline. Well, as soon as the spirits go after it, it dies. So that's good, at least. Also, can somebody explain to me who thought it was a good idea to introduce the assassin and then make the principal enemy of that campaign you introduce the assassin in explode when it dies? Like, why would you do that? That makes no sense to me. Oh well. Good. Got that guy taken care of. Is somebody healing, or do we just have the Afflicted Huan doing random junk over there? Ah, yes. Order of Apostasy spam. The heck did you resurrect from? Oh, we've got a Ritualist over there. I mean, I can use this without any attribute investment. It just makes me lose a ton of health if ever a monk enchantment gets removed, but whatever. Cool. I know why that's 25 energy, but yes, it absolutely does like to crap on melee. Well, physical attacking is just really strong and a lot of free damage, so that's why. But yeah, I don't know. You're referring to my who thought it was a good idea to introduce exploding enemies thing, right? It does seem to. I mean, again, it's really powerful. A lot of it feels very PvP-ish focused in some regards, but oh, I need Plague Signet. And Soulbind is around here. Where's Soulbind on? Necromancer's Construct in Sunjiang District. Yeah, that's a bit of a hike. Where's the Plague Signet spot in factions? Ferndale. Oh, kind of in the middle. Yeah, he's really just in the middle of Ferndale. I'll look at some of the other locations. Okay, that's not any more convenient in Eye of the North, and Weoli is really inconvenient also. Right. Is it just best to go after like one of the Grawl bosses? Probably, actually. Not what I was expecting. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll go get Plague Signet off of a Grawl boss. Whoop. I'm going to need to pop out of the zone to be able to do that. Port Sledge. Okay, let's see what the name of this thing is. Dim Dim. I'm looking for Dim Dim. Give me my mind burn. Ooh, I'm going to need to dump some more skill points in Platinus. Sequence of capture soon. I like the idea of Plague Signet, but it always has felt kind of awkward to me as an elite. Just because I really want to pair it with Martyr. Okay. Is Dim Dim close, or am I going to have to... Is Yap Yowl... Should I just rezone for Yap Yowl's spawn location? Before I worry about any of that, let's quickly take a second peek at where possible spawn locations are for Whitman's Folly. Okay. Wait. No, that's just a random Grawl Crone. I think it's probably easiest to rezone for Dim Dim. Probably. That's my hunch. So I should be able to just come up. Oh, let's not fight those guys if we don't have to. Nope, that's Pip Pip. I don't need Pip Pip. Good old Prophecies bosses. So I was talking about earlier, where it's like, this is a cool idea in theory, but not for the game that this is. I think if you designed it so that way, Signets of Capture were just kind of like a 9th skill that you bought charges for, and then would just like add to your skill repository or whatever, that would be... And you don't care about what profession you were, or something like that. It would be fine, but no, that's Wup Wup again. And if it just had a very different, I don't know, pace to play or whatever, but when it's like the sort of completionist game that it is, with very specific spawn locations for elites and stuff. I don't know. I'm thinking in part about some of this because, so right now I'm also, nope, that's Pip Pip again, working on an RPG and RPG Maker. And when I finish that, I want to make a game that theoretically does like procedurally generated explorable areas with a list, like with this build system not dissimilar from this one, and thinking about, okay, how do I want to handle, okay, Dim Dim spawned, the acquisition of skills in that, and thinking about, okay, in that sort of setup, I feel like you always get access to the skill from defeating the boss. Works really well, or would work really well. I'm going to get so many Chillblains problems. So that's in part why I'm focused on that, like mechanically, because it's something where I'm trying to think about, okay, how could I do this in a way that would fit the game I'm trying to, or the game that I want to make. Because I love the build system for this. The game itself would be a tactics game, because I feel like that would work really well for anybody who's wondering. It's still in very early planning sort of stages, so it's not happening anytime soon, but eventually. But that allows you to be able to control AI. Instead of having AI companions, they're just additional units. I think that works a little bit better. Okay, Dim Dim, I want your elites, and you want my enchantments. I'm sure we can come to well, there goes my enchantments. An equitable trade. Man, this is another area filled with enchantment hate, except in this case it's just that all of the enemies have like a skill bar that involves Chillblains, so they just spam Chillblains. There we go. Give me that Plague Signet. Thank you. Most excellent. Okay, I think, yeah, it's, unfortunately, I have to end for today, because it is, alas, the day that I have to end early on. So I will go ahead and wrap up here, but thank you all for hanging out, for listening to me ramble, and I will be back on Saturday. So until then, take care, everyone, and have a good day. Yeah, thank you for watching again. Goodbye.